Hey, James Eagleman at Eagle Ballistics. We are going to go over the app one more time in general because we've done some updates. And the easiest thing to remember is when you first download the app, make sure you allow every permission that it asks for, because it's going to ask you for your location, tracking and fitness. It needs to know where you're physically standing for longitude, latitude. Remember, the app itself is reading the pressure. This is a standalone system. It needs no cell service to operate other than temperature and humidity, which you can get from the nearest weather station. So once you download it, you're good to go. So here's how this works. The way I got the HUD set up, you can see that I've got 9.5 minutes up. I got a range of 533 yards. Inclination and azimuth, when you first download the app, push with your thumb and allow to use camera, and it's gonna now take care of all your angles and your compass direction, hit set both. We're shooting over here at Legends Ranch today. So wind direction, just push with your finger, tell it where the wind's coming from, hit set, and you can hand type in the wind speed. Now you can also connect a Bluetooth device like a Kestrel, Calypso Mini, Wind Zero, whatever you're gonna use for a wind device. All right, so very simple. What we've done, some changes on this app is, as soon as you download it, first thing I don't want people to do is go to the gear in the upper left, and you're gonna turn on max ordnate units to feet, not MOA. Or if you're using mil, it'll say mil. You want to turn off relative wind unless you're a PRS user. We don't need moving targets, we don't need any of that. I wanna show temperature and pressure on the HUD. I wanna show valley and canyon winds on the HUD, so you turn those on, and now you can see all of that is on the heads-up display. And at this point, I'm gonna go to the rifle in the bottom right, and this is my gun profiles. Now, as soon as you click on the rifle, it's gonna open up the last gun you were working on. So let's say it's brand new, click on profiles in the upper box, and then you can see I've got 29 or 30 profiles. If I wanna add a new profile, hit the plus sign, and it highlights in gray unnamed 308. Click on the rifle, and you're probably gonna be in basic mode. If you wanna see additional tools, click on advanced. And right now I've got 30 profiles because I just made this one. First thing I'm gonna do is in a rifle scope block, name it. We're gonna call this test gun. Underneath that, push with your thumb, put in the twist rate, hit set, select MOA or mil. Scope height, you got a ruler and a caliber. If you want to use the caliber, use it. The ruler, lay it up against the rifle, center of the scope, and then center of the firing pin hole in the bolt, hit set scope height. Scope correction factor, there's a whole video on that. Just leave it if you don't know what it is. We're then gonna scroll down to the bullet block, click on the library. Let's just say today we're running Hornady bullets. This is a Creedmoor, so .264 caliber. Select the bullet you're shooting, 140 ELD match. It drops in a ballistic coefficient, which is not your gun, but it is a ballistic coefficient. Muzzle velocity, use a chronograph, don't guess, don't use the box of ammo. So let's say it was 28.56 on a chrono. When you're getting chrono velocity, do at least 5 to 10 shots and get a good average, okay? At that point, we're done. We go to the zero block and tell it the range you zeroed the gun. Scope height, zero height, zero offset. Zero height means if you don't have a perfect zero, you would tell the app the error that your zero is, and same thing with offset for your left and right. Once you got a real velocity, lock scope angle lock. At this point, you are up and running. If you click on the HUD in the bottom left, you can see if we're shooting 1,002 yards, it's telling us we need to dial 26.5 minutes, okay? Now, the app is gonna automatically default at fractions. You can see 26.5. If you click on the settings in the upper left, you can get precise holds, which I prefer, and it's gonna say 26.6. Otherwise, the app's gonna automatically round up or round down. Now, a lot of guys shooting PRS like that, so let me go ahead and put that back again. Precise holds, turn it off. Go back to my rifle, and I'm gonna click on mil, and you'll notice that now on the HUD, it's gonna say 7.7 mils. And if I was shooting in the PRS mode, click settings in the upper left and go to multi-target, and now you can see my HUD has 6 targets on stage 1. You slide it to the left for each additional stage. There's a whole section on this. Click on a folder to add new stages, but the bottom line is I can now have all these targets on one page, and it's giving me my dial up 7.7 mils, 7.8 mils, so on and so forth. All right, let me get out of PRS mode. It's not what this video is about. Okay. So that was a really quick snapshot, something you guys are going to love. In 1988, I developed a technique for reading wind, mirage, and rain, and some other things we'll discuss later. 26 years in the military, I was able to take that information and perfect it, and 40 years of shooting long range. For the last 9 years, I've been teaching this technique to my students at Gunworks, Barber Creek, and now here. And what I've decided to do in the next couple months, I'm going to release that to the general public. So you'll notice on my app it says rain and mirage. You do not have that yet, so just stand by. When you click on mirage, you click the type of mirage you see, which again I do in my training, and you literally tilt the phone to the angle of the mirage and it converts it to a wind speed automatically. The same thing for rain. You click on the type of rain you're shooting in, look through the spotting scope, hold the phone, the side of the phone to the angle of the rain, and it automatically converts it to a wind speed. Now, I have a patent on this, and I've had this patent since 2022. So this is my technique that I developed in, again, the late 80s and perfected over many years military. This is proprietary in this app, so you guys don't try to copy this. But my point is I'm going to release this to the general public. Even if you haven't been through my school, you will have to pay a subscription for those wind techniques or advanced wind specifically, right? But that's coming out soon. I know a lot of guys have been trying to get it and they can't because they just can't make it to my school. I'm gonna make that easier for you. All right, hopefully this makes sense. You guys have a great day and we'll talk to you later.